So you hate your job. There's no other way to say it. You not only feel you're in the wrong job, but perhaps even in the wrong career. So what to do? The easiest way is to just leave now, right away. Just go and hand in your resignation. But before you do this, I want to share with you some things that you need to consider so that you can make the best decision for yourself. By the way, if right now you are seriously considering of leaving your job, but you feel like you're having a really hard time to decide, then please let me know by hitting the like button. What I'm about to share with you today is not theory, but this is based on my personal experience. I won't get into too much detail, at least not today. Long story short, I've been through quitting my high-paying job in banking, and I've learned some really valuable lessons along the way. So the goal of this video here is that I want to share with you some of my learnings and some of my mistakes so that you possibly do not have to go through the same and can make a better decision for yourself. I also want to know why you feel that your job or career is such a misfit. Why is it that you want to leave it so much? Please do let me know in the comments below because I'd really love to know. And before I start, this video is not about those kind of working conditions where it is life-threatening or it is threatening your health, because in that cases it is a really good idea to leave it immediately in most cases. But here I'm talking about situations where you feel that there's a big misfit between the job, the career, the industry, and you and your personality and your goals. Let's start talking about the 4 things to consider before you leave your job if you feel your career is a misfit. Number 1, do you have another source of income that can pay your bills? And here are a few possibilities. Do you perhaps already have another job with a similar income level as you have now that can pay the bills? Or do you perhaps have a part-time job or a freelance job that covers at least half or more of your bills? And if you don't have this, do you at least have some passive income or income from rental from a property that you own? If you don't have any of these things that I just mentioned now, then just stop and pause for a minute. Take a deep breath and seriously reconsider if now is the right time to leave your job. Because quitting and handing in your resignation letter can feel so good in the moment, but afterwards, when you're left with no money, no income, and the bills start piling up, then that is not a really great feeling. Instead, it can become very stressful, and instead of using energy to focus on pursuing your new career, and in the end, you spend all your energy stressing out about your finances and about how to pay next month's rent. The second thing is, do you have a big enough of an emergency fund and also health insurance? If you leave your job now and you do not have any income replacement in place and no passive income, you want to at least have a proper emergency fund. And in most cases, that is at least 6 months of your living costs. And if you're planning to make a big career change and it might take you longer, or you're planning to start your own business, then I would definitely recommend you to pile up an even bigger emergency fund than that. Before I continue, I make weekly videos on how you can build a fulfilling and meaningful career for yourself. So if you don't want to miss out on any of my weekly videos, then make sure that you subscribe, and also don't forget to hit the little notification bell, because only if you do that will YouTube actually notify you once I upload a new video. The third thing that you need to consider before leaving your job, although you really hate it, is, do you have a concrete plan in place? And the key that I want to emphasize here is concrete. So here are some examples of plans that are not concrete. For example, I want to start a new business and my business plan is just sell stuff on Amazon. Or I'll quit my job and then I'll just go on vacation first for 6 months while I figure it out. Or I might explore filmmaking and see where that leads me to. These are all very bad plans that can end up in you wasting a lot of time and resources. This is what a concrete plan would entail. A concrete plan would have a career plan on one hand, meaning that you have a roadmap on how you plan to build your new career, on how to get into that industry or job you want to work in. And on the other hand, a financial plan. How do you plan to pay your bills during the time that you build your new career or your business. I would recommend you to not just think about this in your head, but write it down on paper. Make a very simple calendar where month by month you draw out what you are going to do that month and what your milestones are. Things can still change, but at least you have some kind of a roadmap. I know that just thinking about quitting your job might feel so good, but if you quit without a concrete plan, what can happen is that you easily get sucked up into a black hole. You quit your job and you are suddenly thrown into this world that has no structure at all. And if you don't have a roadmap, then you might end up feeling very confused and lost. The fourth thing to ask yourself before you hand in that resignation letter and go off pursuing your new career is, have you at least tried to dabble in your target career? Career change happens by trying out things, exploring and experimenting, and not from just thinking of it. And yes, soul searching and building a vision is definitely half of the equation. Like Stephen Covey said, the first creation is the map. Or if you want to build a building, then first you need to have a blueprint. But the other half of the equation is experimentation and experience. Because how can you possibly, in the first place, come up with a blueprint if you have no knowledge about construction at all? So if your target career is filmmaking, for example, then while you are still working in your current job and current career, then you should have at least made some kind of short film or video. Simply by having done that, you already have a head start. If you suddenly quit your job thinking that you want to become a filmmaker, but you've never even made a short film or a video, how can you possibly know that that is actually what you want to do and that you will actually like it? So before you leave this job, no matter how much you hate it, do some kind of experimentation. Try out a lot of things, especially those kind of things that are low risk and low investment. So although you really hate your job so much and you cannot wait to get out of it, why not just hang in there a bit longer? You can use your time while you are still on payroll and receiving your paychecks on the weekends after work to prepare your career change. You can take classes after work in the evenings or work on your business on the weekends. And I know that by the time you finish work, you might not really be in the mood to work on your business, or you don't have the energy anymore, but at least give yourself a little head start by starting while you are still in your current job. And if after doing this exploration, you gain more and more confidence that this is truly what you want to pursue, then you can start seriously considering to leave your job. So what if now you've answered no to all of these things? Meaning that no, you do not have any income replacement, you do not have a big enough of an emergency fund, and you also cannot afford to buy your own insurance, and you have no concrete plan, and you haven't dabbled at least a bit in your target career yet. So what does that mean? Does that mean I need to stay put in my job forever and never quit? And the answer is no. No, it doesn't mean that you need to stay put in your job forever if you feel that your career and your job is a misfit. It only means that you need to stick it out a bit longer until you resolve a majority of these four things that I just talked about. It also doesn't mean that you need to have all of these four things in place until you can quit, although of course the more things you have, the better prepared you will be. But by having these things in place, by having at least partial income replacement, even just a couple of $100 to pay even part of your bills every month, and you have some form of health insurance and a small emergency fund, and at least you tried out some things in your target career and have somewhat of a plan, even that reduces your risk when you're in the process of changing careers compared to if you had none of these at all. And it also doesn't mean that you need to stick it out that long. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to stay put in your current job for years and years from now. The preparation phase of changing careers or leaving your job could be as short as 6 months. And this doesn't mean that you will have completed your full career change within 6 months, because there's almost never a definitive end to career change. But it means that in 6 months, there is a lot that you can do while you are still working in your current job and current career to prepare yourself and allow yourself to get the best start. And consider this. Let's say that in 6 months from now, or even 12 months from now, you're planning that you will leave your job and pursue your new career or your business full-time. You can take this time to consciously prepare your exit. And this time can be a very fun and rewarding time because you can already see the light at the end of the tunnel, and because of that, it doesn't feel that dreadful anymore. I think the worst thing for people who hate their job is thinking that they need to stay there forever and they do not have any option. But as soon as you come up with an exit plan, with a transition plan, then things start looking much rosier. So with most important decisions in life, leaving your job is not a yes or no question, but rather a question of when is the right time or the optimal time to leave your job and pursue something else, and also under which conditions can I leave my job? Which things do I need to do first? What do I need to fulfill in order for me to leave my job? I hope this video was useful to you and could help you to arrive at the best possible decision for yourself. Please share with me in the comments if any of these things were particularly insightful to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.